a breath of fresh air after months of confinement. Stepping back into the real world, these 6 researchers were met with flowers and applause.
It's been so long since I've seen so many people in real life and not through a screen. I hope that everything that we've accomplished, all the experiments, methods, tests, will benefit not only the Sirius project, but also the development of space, the Moon and Mars.
For 120 days, 4 Russians and 2 Americans lived inside this facility. During that time, they carried out 71 experiments. The main goal was to test the physical and psychological impact of isolation. For one participant, this was not an unfamiliar experience. Cosmonaut Yevgeny Tarelkin spent 6 months on the International Space Station.
We tried to create this as it would be on board a space station, and for the most part it was very similar. Of course, the one difference was no zero gravity or radiation, but really it was very similar.
This environment is designed to mimic the conditions of a space station and put participants through the same sort of challenges they would face in outer space. The hope is that one day this sort of station will orbit the Moon and eventually be built on its surface.
These volunteers took a first step in that direction. Among their tasks was a simulated moon landing and a stroll on an artificial lunar surface. The Moon has once again become a target for space-exploring nations, half a century after the Apollo 11 mission brought the first humans there.
From the time it was announced to the time we set foot on the Moon was 8 years, and we had no rockets and no capabilities when it was announced. So there was a will and there was some budget to go and do that work, and we assembled a team and we went and did that work. And I think if you look at commercial space flyers today, SpaceX is doing something very similar, changing the way that we view how people can get into space, how satellites can get into space, because there's a will and there's some money to support that will, and the technology and the technologists are available to do it.
For now, this team is coming back down to Earth. Most of them say they would do it all again, but not before they get a bit of human interaction. Julia Chapman, CGTN, Moscow.